Hey guys, this video is about the story of Cain and Abel. Now remember I told you guys that the Bible is teaching this. It's a printout of what happened when the Most High, when Yahshua was down here or whatever, and he came and gave us a message to save us. Now certain things have been added in, and sometimes I feel like the Bible adds in stuff to like control people or whatever, or to manipulate certain situations. But then also I feel like, your intuition is what connects you to God, and his followers go through the same thing he go through. Just like when you have certain parents or whatever, they train you to what they believe, you imitate what you see. Even if your parents are totally different from you, you still have certain attributes about them. That's what creates you. That's what makes you who you are, regardless if you're scapegoated or not. How you were raised or whatever has a lot to do with who you are. So we'll just say that, or what your life experiences or whatever. So we can't enable. Now, remember I told you how empaths think the Most High also thinks like that too. Okay, so we can't enable. They said Abel was a very righteous person, and he really listened to God, and he respected God, and he honored God, and he gave. What did they say? He sacrificed or gave a really righteous or holy offering that God was pleased with. And it said that I don't really know the whole story. Like I said before, I'm not just Bible based or whatever, because I'm not a Christian. I'm very spiritual. So they said that Cain, what's his name? Cain did it or whatever. He gave an offering, but it was whatever. God, it doesn't take a lot to please God. God looks at your heart. He has to find favor in you through your heart. Or is they a good person? Are they manipulative? Or are they putting on air? So whatever Cain gave him or whatever, they made it seem like it was listing what Abel had. But how do you know if just because they were brothers, how do you know Abel didn't have more money or whatever? God looks at your heart. So Cain probably had, let's just say Cain did have money, but he just gave the Most High the bare minimum just so he can look good or whatever. Just like people do today, they'll speak and praise God's name, but God knows your heart. A person that has lists or whatever can, like me, I don't go to church or nothing like that, and I don't have all the money in the world or a lot of money to just be giving away. But He looks at your heart. I'm giving back or whatever what the messages that God wants me to say. So He will find favor in anything that I'm told what to do. If I'm whispered or something is whispered to me, and I don't mean like a spirit, the actual voice, but if I'm giving a message, and you have to be a channeler in order to understand it. But if I'm giving a message and I relate to the public, and I'm living out and I'm speaking out what God wants me to do and say, then He's pleased with me, especially if I'm living righteously and I'm not trying to do it for selfish gain. Now, when Cain did it, let's just say he had money, but he just, he putting on and act like them pastors, fake, not all of them, but like most of them fake pastors do, or whatever, just to offer a little bit. And God sees it, and God knows it regardless of what mask you wear. So, whatever. Cain looked at Abel, and he, just like, because God was pleased with him, and he wanted God to be pleased with him, but God wasn't, because he knew who Cain really was. So Cain set up something and killed Abel, just killed him. It says that the Most High punished Cain and gave him a mark, and in the Bible it says that, I don't remember each verse, whatever. Like I said, I have to look it up when I do, but they said that Cain, he got scared because God gave him a mark, and he just knew what that mark did. If people saw him, they was gonna kill him. So you have to think about that. What mark could he possibly have gotten that would make people look at him if God casted him out to another land and they would want to kill him? It had to be like a physical mark or something that people would see him and think that he was a beast or something. So that's what made me think it was something like a horn. For a long time I was like, what mark? What mark? What mark? It had to be like something like a horn. That would, if you back in the days, because people so judgmental. As many messages as I get online, I put something about, I'll reveal certain things about transgenders, and they'll call me a witch. How does she know that she's doing witchery? Or because I'm psychic, I have strong intuition, which everybody has, but mine is a little stronger because I'm more studied and more closely connected to God, and He gives me more messages. But how does she know that? What do you mean she's a challenge? She works for the devil. So people be so quick. They don't even have their light bright, but they be so quick to judge. So for when they get when if he was going to a land with people that were so judgmental, whether if they see you a certain way, they'll kill you. He had to look as like something like a beast. So that's what made me think it was a horn. I looked it up, and I've heard somebody online. I don't even think his channel is up anymore. He was showing some pictures of horns, but I never really listened to what he was saying. I just looked at, he one time I came to Abel, he was just showing how some people have horns. And I looked it up. And I'm able to put two and two together, and I also use my intuition. But it's like, so that would make more sense to me that he would have a horn growing out of his head, and that would make people be like, oh, but I want to say this. When it says that he pleaded to God, please, they're going to kill me or whatever, and God put something on him so that people will not touch him, do you really think, that's just like me, I try to give people examples. I'm not the only one, but I'm doing God's work or whatever. I'm online living my life, right? Spreading messages, waking people up, doing whatever I'm called to do. And let's just say it won't happen. Let's just say somebody kills me or whatever, whether it's through magic or whether they just try to do that. Do you really think that God is gonna cast them out and be like, okay, well, I'm gonna put a mark on you. Oh, well, he did do that, but I'm like, I'm gonna do something because I don't want anybody to kill you. Like, you're under divine protection. When you go against true righteous people of God, why would God put you under divine protection? That's why I say use your common sense. Why would God protect Cain knowing that he wrongfully murdered a true prophet of God, or somebody that God favored, or whatever, that had an angelic spirit that God found favor on? The only thing that God did was probably he did something and put something over Cain so that he would struggle and nobody would kill him right away. They said he cursed him and gave him a life of wandering, which is like a life that you're just wandering the land and you're homeless. You're suffering, and God probably wanted it that way based on the stand of what he did. Death is easy. Once you die, it's like, you either go to heaven or hell, or it's like lingo. They say it's a place where your spirit just wanders or whatever, a lingo. But that's what I'm saying. It's like you have to use your common sense. Why would God protect somebody like that? Just like with these gang stalkers and people that's doing black magic in the background. I always tell people, use your common sense, and I try to use examples. Do you really think the Most High is protecting them? I've heard certain things about, like, people are mad. They don't like the fact that you're happy and leveling up. When I first moved here, I was like, oh, I'm happy, I'm single, independent, blah, 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 blah. And God blessed me with some, even though, and I don't like to mention that devilish narc, but even though he left me for dead or whatever, God blessed me with this. Then they tried to take away something, and God blessed me with it. Like, that's why I said they just, when you work for God and you standing on God's side, people may see you by yourself, but you're not by yourself. If God was not with me, I would have been dead by now. God lets people show their true character. That's why I say God is just like an empath or whatever, but a higher version of an empath. He sits back and he watch everything. And God is the best. Like, when you think about God and you think about a friend, God is the best friend you ever have. He has your back. He orchestrates everything. He lets me go through certain things because I'm also still learning. One thing I've learned is that you don't tell people of good stuff or something of good is coming for you. Because the way I think, because I know that if I hear somebody online saying, oh, I'm going to get this or whatever, or I got a new job, or I got a new car, I would never do magic to try to, that's me though. That's me and righteous people. We don't think like that ever. But it's demonic people that think like that. The devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. So when you're doing stuff like that, you have a demonic spirit in you. Because other than that, it just makes no sense. If a righteous person wouldn't do that ever, and we don't plot against people, then only a demonic person will plot against people. What I learned is you keep your business to yourself or whatever. Every now and then I might put up a reading to kind of like address a certain issue that I'm going through. But just in general, it's like I didn't know that people did stuff like that, but going through it, I know if I ever get into another relationship, it's like I want it to be private. All they putting it online, people get jealous and envious, and if their marriage not working out or nothing like that, or they're not happy, they're gonna try to, take away that. That's why I say people just do like really silly demonic stuff. Just they get out of line with themselves and try to play God and other people. Well, not playing God, because God don't do that. They try to play devil. Let's say they playing devil. It's somebody's like where they are demons coming to kill, steal, and destroy. The Most High is just or whatever. So that's all I want to say. I want to say this little quick story about Cain. Start using your common sense or whatever. And I'm not saying that in a smarty way. We all have to use our common sense. That's how I learned. I stopped going by everything I was told and this and that. And it's like, yeah, the Bible, it makes a lot of sense. But if God is the same that God as he was back then today, then that means he hasn't changed. That means that he still works the same. And people with a God like mine, if you're a true chosen one of God, Think about how you, in a real empath, think about how you look at things and situations and compare them to the Most High, not in any way like you're on the level, but He's your teacher, he's your parent. He trained you to think a certain way. You go by certain lines, and he protects you, gives you intuition, and whatever He went through, you're going through the same thing. So He loved you so much that He wrote a survival guide on how you can get through it. But use your intuition or whatever. Certain things make sense and some things don't make sense. People who are evil and intent, and I'm talking about just do things maliciously and they know a person's character or whatever. And Cain ended up getting slaughtered or whatever later. But God doesn't protect people like that. God is not with people like that. And what I've come to find out is people, certain things people do is just in their character. When you jealous and envious and you see another person doing good, and especially if the person's not cocky or conceited, God just favors them and you envy that and you jealous of that, then you work for the devil. Same as Satan in heaven. So God was all this and all that and more than beyond He was, because He was the creator. He created him and gave him a high position or whatever. He gave Satan the highest position, but Satan, he wasn't satisfied with that. He was still looking on the next man plate or whatever. So that's really, really demonic and that's evil, and God doesn't protect people like that. It's just that He gives people an illusion that they will get away with it. And then, at the end, it's like they said you would get enough time on earth. That's why God stretches, lets people work against people for so long, because it's teaching you and training your mind. This is the type of people out here. This is how they think. This is what they do. And you need to be aware or whatever, and you get more wiser and smarter. And also He lets it go on and on and on, so that when karma hits, that they won't be sitting up there. Why? If you know you've done a lot of evil to people or whatever, and malicious things, and just jealous and spiteful, and then if you end up getting your head smashed, even if you don't get your head smashed in or whatever, if you end up homeless, it's like, how can you blame anybody for that? The only thing you can do is just sit and remember everything that you've done to other people. If you try to murder somebody, leave people for dead, lied, work against people, start bullying, do whatever, spiritually bullying, paying people to practitioners to try to hurt somebody, and then let's just say you randomly end up in jail or whatever, or prison, then it's like that's when your bullying gets you have to be gang stalked in jail, but no protection, and getting gang stalked in jail, gang raped or whatever, with no mercy. If you try to do spill work after somebody you wronged and you made it so that nobody will help, but they'll be invisible, if you ever get in trouble, which you will or whatever, that's karma, and you go to jail, no guards will turn their back or whatever. God will see to nobody will help you. And people think they're crying out to God, they just gonna get forgiven. No, God is a merciful God. He gives mercy to people who are lost and who don't really know any better. You ever been in a situation where you doing dark stuff, but not against others, but or just in general, you're doing dark stuff, but you don't truly know? When you're truly aware that you're a wicked person and what you're doing, and you still working against certain people that you know are righteous, it's like, that's what I'm saying. How do I say that? It's like it has to be a payback for what you did, and to the extent of what you did. You don't get away with nothing in this world, because God sees everything. It's just that you're giving an illusion that you do. So that's all I wanted to say for now. I just want to make this quick video. That's my message for tonight, y'all.